Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. That is right. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Yep. And that is all true. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great American. He is a great patriot. And you all know him as...
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy Chris America coming to you live this Friday, July the 26th, 2019, here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. And Loudbeard, it is a good Friday.
Man, it is going to be a heck of a Friday. I agree.
It's going to be a good Friday. We got the bromance draft coming up later on in the show.
Yep.
Any other news stories?
You know what? I needed to bring this up. It is one of the best news stories that I've ever seen. This broke yesterday after we got off the air, and I've just been waiting all day yesterday, all morning, all night. I've been waiting to break the news. Tacko Fall has officially been signed by the Celtics on his rookie deal. He made it, Chris America. Our hometown hero, our UCF Knights big man is officially on a contract with the Boston Celtics, and I can finally say that this NBA offseason has been worth it.
But it's kind of bittersweet, right?
Well, it should have been the Magic, yes. That's where you're going, aren't you?
Or just anybody but Boston and LA.
Well, it could have been the Knicks. That would have been bad, too. Of course, he probably would have been able to play because there's not a whole lot of talent over there in the Knicks. But I do have to say, maybe now I like the Celtics. Hear me out, Chris America. Just hear me out. Think of it. They got rid of Kyrie Irving and signed Tacko Fall in the same offseason. You couldn't have had a better offseason. That was the best offseason you could ask for.
They're definitely trying to get to the center of your heart. That is true, Loudbeard.
I can't complain. That's one of the... I couldn't have written it better myself. If it was a storied book ending, if it was The Notebook, I've never saw The Notebook. That's sad at the end, isn't it? Okay, I need a happy ending one.
It is a happy ending though. At the end of The Notebook, I won't tell you why. It's sad, but it's happy.
See, that's what this is. It's sad because I wanted Tacko Fall to sign with the Orlando Magic, but I'm happy because he's signed and now he's in the NBA and he's on a rookie deal. Oh man. It's a good time to be alive, Chris America. This is good stuff. Tacko Fall, I knew he would get signed, though. He's just one of those guys that's so freakishly tall, and he's gotten to be athletic enough to be somebody that can come in and give you 5 or 10 minutes, take 3 or 4 good quality rebounds, get a block shot, and be a defensive disruptor. He's my boy, Blue. He's my boy.
Now, did they say what their plan is with him? Are they going to send him to the G League, or is he going to be week 1? Is he going to be on the floor at the Garden?
No, I don't see a specific plan for him. It looks like the Celtics signed 4 players, rookie deals, undrafted rookie deals, just getting some guys on their roster. Now, it doesn't specifically say. I mean, he could be last man on the bench for the team and just sitting there. He could be somebody that ends up making the rotation, or like you said, he could go down to the G League for a year or 2 and then come back up. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds like Boston's got his rights now. Got him on a little contract here.
So there's still hope the Magic could get him.
Yeah. I mean,
by
I don't
trade?
know. Yeah, there we go. I would
like
trade away
doing
at
well
all.
in the G League, if he starts doing well in the G League, but they're like, He's still not a part of like our plan of how we want to run our offense. They can send him down to the Magic. We're collecting big men like they're Pokemon.
Yeah. Now I'm going to throw these stats at you. This is the Summer League stats. This is impressive. So he averaged 7.2 points on 77.3% shooting, 4 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks in 12 minutes per game.
Okay,
That's
not bad.
a lot.
It's a start. Yeah, it's a start for a big man.
That's a lot of production in only 12
Yeah.
minutes. Like, they didn't play him a lot, but that's what he could do in the NBA. Come in for 7 or 8 minutes, get a block, get a couple rebounds.
Pick up
maybe
a few cheap fouls.
Yeah, definitely a few cheap fouls. Definitely on the rebounds, it's going to be a rebound and then a putback. You know, one of those ones where he doesn't have to jump, he just puts the ball in the hoop, and you're like, wow, he can actually dunk without jumping. It's impressive.
Yeah, he's the guy that if LeBron starts driving the lane a whole lot on your team, you throw him in there for 6 or 8 minutes, and you just have him punish LeBron if he ever drives.
I'd actually pay to see that.
Yeah. Like I said, he's got 6 fouls to give, and he's not one of your starters. You put him in there just to swallow up, and just even Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons starts driving the lane. Just put him in there. Pick up like 3 or 4 fouls to beat up Ben Simmons a little bit. Get him off his rhythm. Get him off his game. Get him out of the groove that he's in, and then you pull him out.
Oh man, I'm with you on that. And he's not your typical like 7'6" guy. I remember Manute Bull and Sean Bradley. Those guys were rail thin. Like Tacko Fall was rail thin when he first started at UCF 4 years ago, but he now has really worked on like building some muscle and some mass. He's a kind of a bigger guy. I mean, he's still skinny by most means, but he's got a little bit more like muscle and stuff, and he'll hack people, man. I've seen that guy. He comes down and he will hack somebody, and when you see a hand the size of like a palm frond from a palm tree like coming down swatting you, I'm sure that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw when he went up against Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson's what, 285, 6'8", big dude, muscular dude. And he went down and banged with him all game long when they played Duke in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely some value there. But anyway, that's why my Friday's great, Chris America, because yesterday I heard that news. And now there's a bromance. It's Loudbeard and Tacko Fall have an official bromance. May make the list. Just saying. Got a big
Yeah, you guys don't know
up.
each other at all, but sure.
Why do you have to kill it for me, huh? How do you know we don't know each other?
That's true, I don't. I don't know what you do on days that we don't talk.
Well. All right, so what else is going on? And this is kind of we talk about superhero movies quite a bit on this show. We've had Spider-Man versus Politics, which is one of our highest grossing shows of all time. We've talked about Marvel all the time, but there's a show that was coming out on Amazon Prime, or is coming out on Amazon Prime. It's called The Boys. I've been looking forward to this for about a month or so, and today it officially drops. So it's an Amazon Prime original, and it's probably the first Amazon Prime TV show original that I'm actually excited for, maybe other than The Tick. And this is one of those anti-hero, superhero type movies where the good guys get a little bit out of control, so a band of bad guys have to get together to put the good guys in check. I like the concept, and I'm going to probably be binging that this weekend, Chris America. Have you seen this, or have you seen heard anything about this show?
No, yeah, so I've seen previews of it on my Fire Stick, because that's what it does. Sometimes it'll just give you previews of different things or on different apps. Ooh, excuse me, especially Amazon. Yeah, it looks more intriguing than that Omen show that they were pushing a few months ago.
Oh, that's probably terrible.
I'll probably see what you think and then decide if I'll binge it or not after that.
Right.
I still got to get through Stranger Things.
Yeah, you've got a lot on your list. I'm going to try to binge it this weekend. I'm going to do my best. I have some challenges, though. I actually took off of work today. I'm driving up this morning after our show, driving up to good old South Carolina, moving Dee Dee back into her college living quarters. And I'll be up there for the weekend, and I'm going to fly back Sunday. So I'll see how everything goes. We've purchased some IKEA furniture for her, so my weekend's going to be real busy.
That's how you road trip, though, Loudbeard. I like that, the sound of that. You drive up, because driving anywhere is the best part. Driving back sucks.
Yeah.
Because you've
you're
already
so
seen
right.
everything. You already know everything. You just want to be home, and so now you're just driving back. No matter how long the road trip is, the longer it is, though, the more this applies. That when you go on a road trip, when you're driving out to wherever it is you're traveling to, you're excited. You like to see all the new things. And then when you're done with your vacation, all you want to do is just be home.
I'm with you 100% on that.
So that drive back is just ugh. So flying
brutal.
back, that sounds fantastic. If you get to do the best part of a road trip, which is driving up, and then you just get to fly back.
Yeah, and then my wife booked the flight, and she booked it on one of those like cheapo airlines where they charge you so much money if you want to buy a soda, and then if you want to pack a bag and all this stuff, like they nickel and dime you. So I've like packed really light, like just the bare minimum clothes that I need to get by, and I'm gonna come back like with like a little backpack, and I'm gonna be like, no, I don't have any bags to check. This is just a personal item, and I'm going cheapo, man. Then I'm even happier because I don't spend a lot of money because I am not happy with spending money. It's not my thing. I'm old cheapo Groucho Dado,
It's gonna be funny when your Dee Dee's friends ask, like, "What's with your dad? Why does he wear the same shirt every time?" It's because he didn't pack any other clothes.
Well, I brought like one or two pairs of shorts. I'm like, as long as I don't get too sweaty or whatever, just turn them inside out. I'll be all right. I'm changing underwear. That's the most important part. That's the part that's
change
the key
underwear.
there.
Yeah.
I just, guide of survival in the world is always change your underwear. Pants and shorts, they can go a few times without a wash.
Your daughter's like, "Dad, you stink." You're like, "No, it's cool. I'll just spray some Axe body spray. It'll totally cover it up. You won't smell a thing."
Come on. Axe?
What are you, a Old Spice guy?
Yeah. Hold on one second, Chris America. I'm going to have you take it for just a second. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Someone's in the studio. I bet it's Tacko Fall. Tacko Fall came to visit him to celebrate the signing with Boston, and hopefully he comes back because we all know I can't run a show by myself. But if him and Tacko Fall are going on a bromance date right now, I'm going to be pretty jealous. So I'll stick with a news story here that I found this morning. Little wrestling story. Jimmy Uso from the Uso brothers was arrested last night. I believe it was last night. It doesn't say when he was arrested, but he was arrested in Florida. Always a good place to get arrested. But he's not really. It's not really a Florida man story. Just a DUI. I don't want to make light of a DUI, but I guess this is his second or third DUI. And when you get back, Loudbeard, I'm going to want to know, I still think getting a DUI is one of the dumbest crimes a wealthy person can get. Like, if you can afford Uber or even afford your own driver, dude, just do it. If you're going to go out and drink, already have the plan in place. You have the money to have the plan in place. I don't get how anybody who has money gets a DUI. Now, that poor guy, not excusing it, but I get it. He doesn't have money for a cab. He doesn't have money for Uber. He obviously probably shouldn't be drinking if that's the case. But, I guess you can't fix everybody. But the rich guy getting a DUI, that's just stupid to me. I don't get it. I'll never get it. Wow. J-Lo is 50. That makes me feel old. When all the hot chicks and hot dudes that were, hitting it up as celebrities in their prime when I was a high schooler or middle schooler. Like when Jennifer Aniston turned 50, that hit me first. And now J-Lo's 50. I do have to say, though, I looked at 50-year-old celebrities back when my parents were in, high school or whatever. And you're looking at 50-year-old celebrities today. Plastic surgery's come a long way. That Botox, it has come pretty far. J-Lo's still looking beautiful. She's still Jenny from the block, and she's still got it. 50-year-olds are definitely way hotter nowadays. And I got to say, I'm pretty excited to be 50 later on in life. Pretty excited about that. All right, Loudbeard, you need to come back because I'm running out of juice. I'm running out of juice. Oh, now we're. I won't talk about that stupid politics. Let's see. Nick Bosa and Debo Samuel agree to a 4-year rookie deals with the 49ers. Well, that's good because the last time a Bosa was drafted, he held out on the San Diego Chargers. So I know my boy Sky K's got to be excited that Nick Bosa didn't hold out as long as his brother did. Only took him to right around training camp with the preseason just a week away. Let's see. $33.5 million. The number 2 overall pick signing a 4-year, $33.5 million. It's a long way from where we came back in like 2007, 2008, 2009 when Matt Ryan was taking a $70 million deal, and I think Goofy Face, what was his name? Sam Bradford was taking his like $75 million deal coming out of Oklahoma. And I got to say, next to, for me, in the last 20 years, I'm going to say Sam Bradford's more overrated than Jamarcus Russell for me personally because I just always knew Sam Bradford was going to be a bust, where I kind of already knew that Jamarcus Russell, I knew he was going to be a bust, but I was like, maybe there's something there. But Sam Bradford, I knew exactly what he was going to look like coming into college, and I was correct. There
you
he
always
is.
have loved Sam Bradford. Like, you have had
Yes.
such a thing for Sam Bradford for so long. Like, you guys have a bromance.
I do have a bromance. It's a
With
love-hate
Sam Bradford.
relationship. I love
Yep.
hating Sam Bradford.
You know, speaking of bromances, like, I have a bromance with Ezekiel Elliott, but, you know, he decided not to take the team flight to training camp. More signs pointing to him holding out. I love it when the Cowboys are a mess. I hate the Cowboys. Just did I ever say that on the show?
You have once or twice.
I hate the
I really
Cowboys
think they need
twice.
to. I hope in this new CBA, they renegotiate a deal for these rookies. I get not wanting to pay them right off the bat, but if they're in year 2 of their contract, they should be able to renegotiate their position because I shouldn't have to spend 4 years making nothing because your scouts are awful.
There also needs to be something in place, and I think what you're saying would help because you've got some of these guys that on a rookie deal suck, and that's fine. But then other guys, and I mean, he's probably a terrible example, but a guy like Kareem Hunt, who gets drafted like second round and comes out immediately, or second or third round immediately and has a huge impact. Well, he's getting paid next to nothing compared to other players, and he's out there performing at almost an MVP type level. I mean, that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but he's playing at a very high level, a Pro Bowl style of level, or type of level, and he's getting paid next to nothing because he's still in his rookie deal. And in the NFL, more than any other league, your career is so precious because of injury, because of
Right, especially at
various
linebacker and
reasons.
running back.
Oh yeah. So I agree with you. I think that rookie scale is good because it wasn't like huge where people like Sam Bradford were making $60 million right off the bat, even though they've never even played a game in the NFL. So they've scaled that down, which I think is great. But there needs to be some sort of clause in there where if you exceed a certain level of performance, you're able to renegotiate. And it could be a pretty significant renegotiation. Like, it doesn't need to be, oh, you can get 10% more. Well, if these guys are coming in at an $800,000 contract, which is a very small contract for the NFL because they were a 4th or 5th or 6th round draft pick, and then all of a sudden they're playing the same as a guy that's making $10 million a year, and then they're like, oh, we'll give you a 10% bump. What are you going to make, $880,000? And the guy that just because he's been in the league 5 years is getting $10 million, even though your performance is exactly the same. That's what's creating these holdouts. And these holdouts, to me, they've really put like a black eye on the NFL because every season we're sitting here saying, all right, who's going to show up to training camp? Who's going to hold out now? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that?
I think it's been a
Who's
little bit
gonna do
worse
what?
now. I feel like it's been a little bit worse now than it was in the past.
It has. I think it's like escalated. Each year There's more and more guys, and most of them are big names, like guys that have coming off of a great season, who know that if they don't get paid now and they have like a mediocre season, when their contract does come up for extension, they're not going to get as much money. So they're like, you know what? There's no benefit for me not to hold out now. Absolutely no benefit, because there's not guaranteed contracts. The NFL, like, these teams could cut you at any moment, it seems like. So you might as well strike while the iron's hot, and that's what they're all doing, and that's what all the agents are recommending them to do. And for a fan perspective, I think it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's like, I don't really care if Ezekiel Elliott holds out or any player on any other team. It's when your player on your team holds out. That's when it really affects me. Like, if the Minnesota Vikings have a guy holding out, I don't care. I say, good for you, player. Keep holding out. Hold out as long as you want.
Get your money.
Get that money. And even when it is my player, it does irk me, but it irks me towards my team, especially if I think the guy deserves it. Like, Ezekiel Elliott deserves his next contract. He's earned it. Whether you like the guy or not, on the field, when you think Dallas Cowboys, you think Ezekiel Elliott. That's exactly who you think about. So when you're the most recognizable name on the highest valued sports franchise, I think you should get your fair share of that.
Yeah, and Ezekiel Elliott's a very good example. But there are some guys that just do it just to get more money. Like, Darrelle Revis made a living off of this, where he would sign like a 3-year contract, and after the first year, he's like, let's renegotiate. Like, come on, man. And he would hold out and always want more money. Like, dude, you already got paid. And so then everybody's like, oh, I'm all for the players making more money. Like, dude, the dude's making $10 million. Now he's holding out because he wants $12 million. The following year, he's holding out because he wants $15 million. Like, there comes to a certain point where you're like, the teams, I'm sure, are like getting sick of having to negotiate every season for the same guys. And Revis was one of the worst, but I guess one of the best at doing that.
See, guys like Darrelle Revis I didn't like, because like you said, he would do it on a second and third contract, where it's the guys on rookie deals are the ones that I say, good for you. Go ahead and hold out, especially if I feel like they deserve it, or if they've earned it on the field. Let's see. Another great example of it would be Le'Veon Bell when he was the 48th pick in the draft, and he would just have to like try to hold out just to get more money, because I think at a point he was getting paid like $600,000 a season when he was by far one of the most recognizable players in the NFL. And you're just paying this guy $600,000, and then eventually his holdouts became more about a longevity, right? Which I feel like every player deserves to have as well. Like, yes, I'm making $14 million for this year, but I would like to make $30, $40, $50 million over the next 5 or 6 years. And I don't want to go in and make $14 million, get hurt, and then that's the most I'm ever going to make. Like, give me a longevity. Give me, like, I want to be married. I don't want to be, this non-committal dating relationship we're in.
Yeah, and that's where that guaranteed money becomes so valuable. On the franchise tag has turned it into that, oh, the team can do a 1 year, but we pay you a good amount of money. Well, players are wanting these 3, 4, 5-year deals, and yes, most of the NFL's non-guaranteed. Well, they've figured out a way, well, let's go ahead and put in guaranteed money stipulations in all these contracts. So now it's not that it's a not guaranteed contract. It's most of the contracts now are guaranteed. So the new CBA, when it comes out, I think it's 2021, 2020, something like that.
There. Mm-hmm.
When that comes out, there's a lot of fixing that needs to be done, and I could see this being one of those situations where the league struggles to put it together, and the players maybe disagree with quite a bit that the league's trying to do, and there could be some holdout going on there. And we could be in for a little bit of a scare for a strike. Not that it'll happen, but there could be a scare for maybe losing some games.
Yeah, and the guaranteed part has kind of become a negotiation point for NFL teams and where they compete. Because every team can pay Le'Veon Bell the max amount of money if they want. It's just, are they willing to guarantee that max amount? Or how much of that max amount are they willing to guarantee? And that's how they've been competing. And I think that's probably why the Jets ended up winning the Le'Veon Bell race. Maybe he did get offers for more money, but the guarantee was less, and he kind of weighed it out and said, no, man, the Jets offered me the best guarantee. Yeah, it wasn't that contract that I wanted, but that's the guarantee that I want. So I'll take the guarantee over the whole entire life of a contract.
Well, look at the season prior. Kirk Cousins, he was the big free agent that everybody was going after. And his contract, it was only 3 years, but it was 100% guaranteed. First player ever to get a fully guaranteed contract. That's what these players want, right? Like, you want security, knowing that you're not going to be teased and cut and lose some of that money. You want your contract to say, okay, this is the money that you are going to get. They want to know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they looked at a guy like Colin Kaepernick. He had like a $100 million contract that he signed prior to his exit out of the NFL. I think he only ended up getting like $35 million of that.
Oh, that's
and so
it?
Kirk, I think he exited the NFL with like 35, 40. I mean, that's only 30% of that contract. You're saying, that's it because that's a lot of money to us. But if if I signed you to a $100 million deal, you'd be happy that you only got 30% of that deal. But part of you is going to always think about how I didn't get the other 60%.
And think about taxes.
Right. And where Kirk Cousins is sitting here, he doesn't have to worry about that. All $80 million or whatever it was he signed for, he knows that's in the bag no matter what happens.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, like you said with Colin Kaepernick, his career kind of changed course and things went south. And you're right, he didn't get all that money because all of it wasn't guaranteed. I don't know. It's just, I could see this changing quite a bit. The franchise tag, I could see that going away because it seems like the players hate it.
I feel like fans hate it too.
Yeah, it's just I agree.
Like,
didn't
it's
you hate
non-committal? You're the perfect example of a fan hating the franchise tag. With Kirk Cousins, you guys franchise tagged him 2 or 3 seasons?
Yeah, I believe it ended up being 3 seasons total, but it was an ongoing dramatic conversation.
And you just wanted them to just either sign him or let him go. I want to know who my quarterback of the future is.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts your other free agents too, because you bring in a wide receiver or running back and you're trying to sign them to a 3 or 4 year deal, and they look over and they see your quarterback is on a franchise tag. Like, do I really want to sign with this team where I don't know who the quarterback's going to be the rest of my contract? Like, I'm only get 1 year with this guy. I think I'll go somewhere else where they have a little bit more stability at quarterback.
Oh, classic friend zone scenario right there.
Yeah. I mean, a wide receiver for sure is looking for a bromance with his quarterback. And if he can't get a long-term bromance with his quarterback, then he might not sign. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but I can see that being a sticking point for some players.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you. Now, we're a couple minutes away from our commercial break here, Chris America, and we're going to go into a bromance situation on the other side. We're going to have one of our best fantasy drafts. Every Friday we do a fantasy draft, and this week's by far one of the best. It's on bromances, and we'll get some of the details out to you after the commercial break, so make sure you stick around for that. But I did want to talk about a said romance real quick, and this romance is, I guess, less of a romance and more of a, I need to get your perspective on this. J-Lo. So she turns 50 Wednesday. My wife and daughter went out and watched her concert here in Orlando. She leaves Orlando. She schedules it so that she can go down to Miami. She has this big blowout 50th birthday party. And I saw some pictures from it floating around on the interweb. And some of those pictures I'm looking at, and I just have to say, for a 50-year-old woman, J-Lo is still one of the most beautiful people on the planet. It is unreal, Chris America.
Yeah, it's almost like I said that while you were gone.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that's funny. No, it's cool, though. I'm glad you agree with me. I was talking about how 50-year-olds nowadays look way different than 50-year-olds did when we were growing up.
Yeah, 50's the new 30, man.
Oh, for sure. Especially in celebrity. Like, the Botox game is on point right now. I remember we used to be able to tell who's on Botox and who's had plastic surgery. Now, I mean, you know that J-Lo and Jennifer Aniston, you know they've had some form of plastic surgery or Botox or whatever, because you don't look like that naturally at 50. And, yeah.
Looking good, man. I'm telling you,
I
these
saw-
pictures. Whew.
I saw a buddy of mine. Remember you met him on Tuesday? He went to like a 30-year reunion or something like that last night party, and he was taking pictures. Some of the ladies that he took pictures with that are in their 50s looked pretty good.
There you go. 50's the new 30. This is the world we live in, Chris America.
Like it's now
But
like because I'm single. If I came to you and I said like, yeah, man, I hooked up with a 50-year-old last night. Back in the day, you'd be like, oh, 50, Chris, you're 35. Like that's gross. Now it's like, well, let me see what she looks like.
Exactly. I'd say, let me see video evidence or pictures before I cast any sort of judgment. Because, it might not be a bad deal.
No, it might not be at all.
Well, I've talked enough about this romance, you and J-Lo, me and J-Lo. Now we need to talk about some bromance. Here, quick commercial break, and on the flip side, stay tuned for the world's greatest fantasy draft. Bromance, bromance, bromance. Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst. Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
Welcome back. Thank you all for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio. He is Chris America. I'm Loudbeard. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. We also simulcast on the Full Press Radio Network, and we are a part of the Barn Burner Radio Network. We're all over the place. Just saying. If you want to get interactive with us, make sure you hit us up on Twitter. Twitter line's kind of quiet this morning. Hit us up at Scout Team Radio. I know the Craft Brewed Sports guys, they're usually hitting us up on Twitter. They had a show late last night. It was fantastic. They were drinking some fluffy beer. Fluffy beer makes it hard to wake up this early in the morning. I get it. But yeah, hit us up on that Twitter line at Scout Team Radio. We like to get interactive. We'll read your tweets on the air. We will talk about your topics, your subjects. We'll talk about all that stuff. If you can't catch us live each and every morning, you catch us live some days, and other days you can't, make sure you hit the podcast. That's right. We record each and every show. We will put it out as a podcast. Just search Scout Team Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you find a podcast. And you know what? Most of the time we record it. Yesterday, I kind of forgot. I forgot to hit record, hit half a show, but that's okay. J-Lo's still hot for being 50. Anyway, Chris America, it is time for the greatest bromance draft ever to be assembled on a podcast. I'm ready for it. Oh, I said the Twitter line was quiet. Memphis Spence is hitting us up, and he has a quick question before we get into this bromance draft. This is a really good question. He says, Scout Team Radio, gun to your head, you have to eat at one of these places. Which one are you going to? Chili's, Applebee's, Fridays, or Ruby Tuesdays? Unfortunately, it's all the same restaurant, but
Yeah.
if I had
But let's
to pick
see.
one,
Applebee's and Chili's got 2-for-1s. So I feel
Yep.
like that already sets them apart. Because if I'm going to eat
Yep.
crappy food, I might as well get a good drink deal out of it.
But Fridays, like after 9, has half off appetizers. At least it did when I was in college. I used to go there for dinner. We'd wait till after 9 o'clock and then go and just like eat like an appetizer. That's college for you.
Yeah.
So they have that going for them. I haven't been to a Ruby
think I'm gonna go
Tuesdays in
Chili's.
forever. Yeah, I out of those
Yeah, I don't
four,
even,
I'm going
I couldn't even
Chili's,
tell
too.
you what a Ruby Tuesday serves.
They used to have a good salad bar. I don't know if they still do that
Yeah,
because I haven't
2
been
for
there
ones.
forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chili's it is.
Yeah, I don't
no
know
gun
either.
needed.
Chili's it is.
You go now. A lot of times I'll get the fajitas at Chili's because when they bring it out sizzling, it makes it just makes you feel special.
On that plate or that
Oh,
pan?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like all they do is really heat it up so the onions sizzle to make it like sound like it's really special. But I'm like, oh look, and it's like a trail of steam, and they bring it out. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole
this is what I'm
restaurant
talking
smells
about.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I got a 2-for-1. That's my restaurant. Not that I pick it like number one over like local joints, but if you're going chain restaurant, Chili's is on the near top of my list.
All right, Loudbeard. So this bromance thing, this was a lot harder of a draft than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
There are a lot of really good bromances out there, especially in TV.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this. Like, can this be like real life people, animated people, and like
Yep,
actual
yep.
fictional characters? Like, this is just like a
Yeah.
Wild Wild West. Any kind of real bromance, we can go all in on.
Yeah.
Right? All right,
A
good.
bromance that give you the bromance feels.
There you go. Warm mouth bromance feels.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
didn't
who
come
has
out
the
right.
number one pick? has the number
I
one
don't
overall
remember.
pick?
I don't remember, but I think I could go ahead and let you get the number one pick. I don't know if it was you or
Okay,
me.
you're
It
going to let
might
me
be
take
you.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
If I have the number one overall pick, then I have to go with none other than a bromance that's been around since 1977. It's a bromance all of us loves. It's a bromance all of us really want. One where nobody else understands you but your best friend. Your best friend gets you. He understands the language you're speaking, even though everyone else around you just kind of looks at you like, what did he just say? And of course, I'm talking none other than Han Solo and Chewbacca. Han and Chewie, one of the greatest bromances of all time. And when Han finally kicked the bucket, you felt Chewie's pain. You felt how angry he was, even though you could understand what he was saying, but you felt watching the bromance end right there. You felt the agony of Chewie. So I'm going Han and Chewie with my first bromance pick.
Wow, that's a good one. I have to say that was definitely towards the top of my list, and I was a little concerned about you taking my number one pick overall, but that's okay. I'm gonna let you slide with that one because it's quality. That I'm gonna say that was my number 2, and you left me wide open for the best
Okay.
bromance of all time.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, this is a bromance that's been going on for a very long time. I'm going to take us back to a ripe young age of 2017. And at that moment, there was a glimmer of one of the greatest sports talk radio shows in the eyes of two young, eager hosts. And I'm going to go with my number one pick, Loudbeard and Chris America. Bam! Killed it right there. Take that.
Oh, you're so romantic. I thought you were going
I
to say
got tears.
Loudbeard and Anthony Mack.
Who?
Yeah, the Golden Ghost.
Huh?
All right, Loudbeard. With my number 2 overall pick, that's solid. I like it. It gives me now. It makes me feel like
how are
a
you
crappy
gonna-
friend. I think you set me up to be a crappy friend, to make me look crappy on the show. Be like, oh look, Chris is taking it serious again, and then Loudbeard had to go and put all the warm feels out there.
In all fairness, I warned you yesterday.
Yes, you did. You said, what did you say the first pick was going to be?
It was going to be in Fuego.
En Fuego, yeah.
I think. I don't know. I said several weird things
It's on
yesterday.
fleek.
It's on. Oh, bringing it back. There you go.
Yeah, man. Bring it back to 2014. All right, Loudbeard. Now I looked at this list and I started thinking, gosh, there are so many good bromances out there. And there's a lot of bromances that I thought, oh, that's a popular pick. But I decided this time I'm going to go and draft what I like. The bromances that speak to me. And no bromance has spoken to me quite like the good old bromance of JD and Dr. Christopher Turk. Turk and JD, oh my gosh, Loudbeard, if you've never seen Scrubs, you need to watch Scrubs. There is no bromance like that where one tries to be like he's too cool for school, the other one just gets to be himself and be nerdy and everything, and that brings out the nerdiness out of the cool guy. It makes him feel like he's comfortable being kind of a nerd, but he doesn't want to be too much of a nerd because he's got, he's got a cred to stick up for. But the way these two guys interact, even when the bromance was tested and JD gave a light peck to Turk's wife at the end of a season when they were both drunk, even that survived the bromance, or the bromance survived even after that.
I was gonna say that, I wasn't going with that area of a pick, and then your narrative totally won me over. Your narrative killed it. So quality pick, Chris America, just unbelievable.
I'm ready for your number 2 that you said was going to be lit.
It is going to be lit. For my number 2 selection, I'm going with the greatest paper-selling duo ever to don the screen. Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute is one of the greatest bromances that I've ever seen in television history. And I, to this day, thank Dunder Mifflin and their amazing cast of bromance.
And that was one of the most interesting bromances because Michael Scott never wanted to admit that he was in a bromance with Dwight, but deep down he knew. He knew that that was his best friend, and that was his only friend.
There was many layers to that relationship, and that's what made it such a dynamic bromance.
It was.
It was
And I'm even just thinking back to
when
when Dwight left because he didn't get a promotion or something, and he went and go work for that, like a Staples or something, and then Michael had to go crawling back to him.
Good times.
Solid pick there, Loudbeard.
Love that
Solid
show.
pick.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, Loudbeard. Now, I couldn't decide which bromance spoke to me more. Was it Turk and JD or this one? Turk and JD or this one? And honestly, I have to say it's this one, but because I was looking at the list that I had on in front of me, I just went with Turk and JD first. But my second one, or my third pick, Loudbeard, is by far my favorite bromance of all time. And it's one of the most fun shows you could ever watch. I think it was on 6 or 7 seasons, and there was never a season where I was like, okay, the show jumped the shark. You knew it'd eventually end, but when I watched the show Psych, and I see Sean Spencer and Burton Guster, it warms my heart as a bromance. And again, it's one that has he tries to be cool, and his friend is just a complete nerd. And I mean, this nerd tries to be way cooler than JD tried to be cool. Gus was the nerd in this duo. And then the nerdiness drew out Sean's I'm too cool for schoolness. And it was just a good dynamic duo, especially one where one likes to be a little crazy and the other one's kind of like reserved, like, hey, let's think about this for a second. They're like, no, come on, we're gonna do this. And then even though Gus was always scared, like a true bromance, you go into the battles of danger just because you need to make sure your friend is safe, even if you're terrified out of your mind.
Wow. That sounds like a true bromance right there.
If you've never seen Psych, Loudbeard, you need to get on it. Forget that superhero show. You need to binge watch Psych this weekend.
It's good, huh? Psych's good. I actually never watched Psych. I've seen Scrubs like maybe a handful of times, but I didn't. If you were to say to me today, like Turk and JD, and then would you say Sean Spencer and Burton
Sean
Guster?
and Gus, man. Mm-hmm.
I would not even have known where those were from.
No, I figured that, and that's why I'm pretty sure this is gonna lose me. That's why I started off with Chewie and Han. I'm hoping that that's the anchor that can, that you know how it works on the Twitter polls. Like, oh, I just see this one pick that I love, so I'm gonna vote for that. No, now I'm just gonna go after the ones that I love, the ones that speak to me.
Go with it, man. You got to go with your gut. I'm trying to think of what I got going on. Like Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute, that's a fictional bromance. This is one that just warms my heart. It was a real life bromance and it was a on-screen bromance. But to me, there was no better chemistry, no better connection than Chris Farley and David Spade.
Damn you, that was one of my picks.
Was it really? So good.
I could have saved Gus and Sean for later.
You could have saved that for number 99. I probably still
could have, yeah.
Guessed. No. There you go. And I could talk about it all day long, but everybody knows who they are, and everybody knows the greatness, the comedic gold that is
Don't
Tommy
say
Boy,
everybody.
Fat guy in a little...
People who are like 25 and younger have no clue who you're talking about.
That's okay. They don't vote on Twitter. Oh, wait. They are the ones that... That's okay. I feel good about this pick. I feel real good about it.
No, I feel good about it too. It's a great pick, which means now I got to bring out big guns. Apparently, I'm just going all fictional bromances. And that was going to be my one non-fictional one. I guess I just let it slip through the cracks. I thought I had time. I thought you were going to go other places, but nonetheless, I'm going to come in, and I feel like this is going to be another safe pick, but it's still a pick that I love. It's a bromance I love. And that, of course, is Stewie and Brian Griffin. Great bromance there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Family Guy. That's a solid pick.
I mean, those are the two characters I feel like that make the show, and everybody else is just kind of there.
So, Chris America, I'm gonna play dirty on you. I hope you don't mind a little playing a little dirty. Like yours is good. Like Stewie and Brian Griffin, that is a dynamic TV duo. But I'm gonna play a little dirty because I'm gonna appeal to the audience. And when I think of bromances, there is a duo out there that I really just I gotta make a mention here and put them as my number 4th overall duo of all time. And that will be Mike Berlon and Scott Kaiser from Craft Brewed Sports. There, I did it. Can you believe I just did that?
No, I mean, it makes sense with your first pick. I thought you were going to make that your second pick. Just realize, I mean, you guys did get picked, but just realize I was towards the bottom of his draft. All right, so it's my pick.
Yeah, it's your pick. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
This is my final pick, Loudbeard. And I'm like looking through my list, and there's so many honorable mentions. There's so many where I can't go wrong. What do I do, Loudbeard? Okay, I'm stuck between two 90s bromances. Ones that meant a lot to me, ones that probably meant a lot to you. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with a real life one. No, I can't. Yes, I can. I'm going to go Keenan and Kel. And I feel bad.
I like that one a lot.
I feel bad leaving the other one on the table. It was one that I really wanted to draft, but the draft didn't go that way. I just ran out of picks. Yeah, Keenan and Kel.
What was your other pick so I can pick?
No, you're good. You can go.
Now you can go ahead. You can do your honorable mentions now before I make my 5th pick. I'm going to go with what I think that you were going to select.
I kind of gave you a big hint.
I have no idea. I'm oblivious to hints, so I have no idea what your hint was, other than it's one that you really liked. I guess that would be the hint. But to me, again, I'm going back to TV. And when I think of TV, I love watching TV shows that involve drugs and violence and just school teachers becoming meth bakers or dealers or whatever he was.
No, although I thought you
chemists.
were on the right track until you went to teachers became meth dealers. But go ahead.
I'm going Walter White and Jesse Pinkman as my
Yeah.
on-screen bromance.
Now that's an
It was-
interesting one, kind of like Dwight and Michael Scott.
Yeah,
It's
it was a love-hate.
It's a very contentious bromance, and I think Walter always considered Pinkman a friend, more like a son almost, but a friend for sure. Where Pinkman was always up and down with Walter.
It's true. It was a interesting dynamic. Lots again, like an onion, lots of layers. I could have gone Shrek and Donkey. That also has lots of layers, but I decided to go Jesse Pinkman and Walter White. So let's hear some of your. Well, what was going to be your last pick? I'm curious now.
My hint was a big '90s bromance, and I think Keenan and Kel was a big '90s bromance. But I think
Screech and Zach.
I think no. Zach Morris
no?
is trash.
I've heard that.
Have you ever
before.
seen that? Have you ever seen that Facebook page?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh,
It is-
it's the best.
classic,
I watch
yeah.
every one of those videos. No, it's Corey and Sean from Boy Meets World.
Yeah, they had quite the bromance. I felt like
they
Topanga
had, like,
really
one of
got in
those-
the middle of it.
But that's what
Girls,
made
man,
the
that's what they
bromance
do it.
even strong, because even with Topanga around, like Corey and Sean, that's how you're supposed to do a bromance when a girl gets around. Like, yeah, hey bro, I'm gonna spend some time with my girl. I'm gonna make sure I'm a good guy to my girl. But our bromance is still strong. We're still gonna hang out with each other. And Topanga was often a third wheel in that trio.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, good quality honorable mention.
So if our
What else you
audiences
got?
were if our audiences was a lot older, I would have gone with like Simon and Garfunkel. Maybe some Hall and Oates. That's if our listening audience was like 30 years older than what it is. Wayne and Garth. That was another one that I had on my radar.
Yeah, I had Wayne and Garth. That would have been a good one. Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, I looked at that a bunch of times. It's a popular pick. I think it was one that would get people to vote, but I was like, I don't feel Mario and Luigi. Mario and Luigi as a bromance, you never really see Mario and Luigi interact with each other, right? It's always one or the other on the screen, especially when we were growing up. You either had to pick Mario or Luigi, and they were never in the same room. So how can I feel the bromance there if I never see them hang out and interact with each other?
Yeah, but what about that classic movie with John Leguizamo that featured
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi?
It did.
That's where it's at.
Even the TV show, they were there.
They were good. I
Two
had some
others.
cartoon ones.
Two other solid bromances from the '90s. If there was a decade that had the best bromances, it had to have been the '90s. Because I sit there and I mentioned Keenan and Kel, Corey and Sean. What about some Beavis and Butthead?
Oh yeah, there we go. That's the one.
And then some Ren and Stimpy.
Yep. And you almost left off one of the best of the '90s, Pinky
Yeah.
and the Brain.
And the Brain. Now,
There we
is this
go.
'90s? I feel like this is '90s, but maybe I'm wrong. Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, it got its start in the early
late 90s, right?
Yeah, late '90s. You got the Mall Rats
Were they in?
and the Clerks.
Were they in like Chasing Sarah Marshall or whatever it was? Were they in that
Chasing
one?
Amy?
Chasing
They were
Amy?
in- yeah, they're in all of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So, another cool '90s is Lloyd and what's his name?
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. There
Yeah.
you go. Lloyd Christmas.
Dude.
I don't remember the other guy's name.
Is it Harry?
There you go. When Harry Met Lloyd. You're correct.
Yeah.
That was the name of one of the terrible sequels.
Man, yeah, the '90s. When it comes to bromances, you mentioned Chris Farley, David Spade, Keenan and Kel, Chris and Sean, Garth, Wayne and Garth. Who else we said? We just said Harry and Lloyd, Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, '90s by far
lots
best
of 'em.
bromance. That's why we have solid bromances today. That's why our generation, Loudbeard, probably has the most solid bromances out of any other generation, because we grew up watching some of the best bromances of all time.
There you go. I'm with you. Now, would Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, would they be considered a bromance?
If you want to call them bros, do they call each
They're-
other bros?
They're kind of bro-ish, aren't
What
they?
is a girl? What is a girlmance?
A homance?
A cismance?
that wrong?
A homance.
Is that wrong of me to say? I feel like
You know, when we first started the show, I had an idea that if like once we got big enough to where we have callers, like people could say they're a bro of the show, and like even chicks could say that they're a bro of the show.
bro of the show.
I like
Hashtag it.
Kind of
I
like,
it.
going back to Keenan and Kel, how Keenan used to be, or Kel used to be like, I'm a dude, she's a dude, he's a dude, we're all dudes, yeah. Like, I'm a bro, you're a bro, she's a bro, we're all bros, yeah.
Yeah. What about Lindsay Lohan and Rehab? Are they bros?
Oh, yeah, they're bros.
It's that time, my friend. It's Friday.
It
Have a
is that
wonderful
time.
weekend. This is a great show. I love Draft Day.
Jeff Day's good, man.
It's a great movie with Kevin Costner.
Oh, you know who else, Loudbeard?
Who did I forget?
Indiana Jones, and what was the little Asian kid in the one movie?
Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones. That was a good bromance.
That was a good bromance.